New from Vinegar Syndrome in their VSA range is TC2000, a movie that I've never heard of. It stars Bolo Yeung, Jalal Marie and Billy Blanks. And it's weird because until this was announced, I had completely forgot everything about Billy Blanks. And thanks to this movie's announcement, I managed to go back down the rabbit hole of his filmography and remembering all the good times I had with Billy Blank movies and then somehow completely forgotten them over the past couple of decades. So it was a joy going back to see this actor and action star yet again. The basic plot of TC2000 is fairly simple. It's a post-apocalyptic world. Shit's went wrong and all the rich people have went underground where they've got all the resources and they're surviving. Up above on the earth there is dire straits going on. People can't survive, there's no water, they're trying to deal with the weather. It's been a kind of ecological disaster. And we have this kind of history of a scientist who was working on finding something that would reignite the planet and bring it back to its best. But of course we've got the warring factions of the underground rich people and the above ground survivors, cannibalistic mutants and just all-round bad guys.
Picassos! The time has come for surface world to reclaim what's rightfully ours and defeat the underworld forces. Who
are basically, well, the guys on top want to get to all the good stuff underneath, and we have Billy Blanks, who is an enforcement agent, a policeman of sorts, who kind of patrols the earth and stops all the bad guys from getting near the base along with a few other of his compadres. It's fairly simple in setup. It has some things that I really like. The fact that there is a fight scene almost every 5 minutes stops the movie from getting boring. When they try to delve into the plot, of which is rather trite and uninteresting, you only have to wait a couple of minutes before we get to the next exciting fight sequence, so it's always got that going for it. It has Bolo Yeung as a good guy. This was a real surprise for me. We get to see him fighting multiple times throughout the movie, as he seems to have this weird power of being able to punch through people without hurting them and getting to something the other side or some object, transferring his punch through something. It's weird, it's over the top, but it's incredibly fun. And like I said, the action set pieces are terrific. Some of the production values are a little cheesy. Some of them are incredibly fun. It's obvious that it's a low budget action movie, but it just was a throwback to the early 90s when I was a mainstay of the video store, when action movies had kind of taken hold of the space left by slashers and horror movies. These kind of movies were 10 a penny and they were ultimately kind of forgettable. Things that were watched and discarded and forgotten about until Vinegar Syndrome dig them up. Now, I did like a couple of the characters that we have here. Bobby Phillips stars as Blank's partner in this one, Dr. Bambi from the X-Files, and she is particularly great. She has a good couple of action set pieces at the start. She comes into it later on as kind of a unusual character that has more fight scenes to do. You get Jalal Marie as the bad guy. Particularly, this is a kind of forgettable actor for me. I never knew he existed. If it wasn't for Tiger Claws and TC2000, I probably would have never known that he'd ever existed. Bye bye, Jason. And I'd probably been comfortable with that. I enjoyed TC2000 for what it was, a forgettable action movie of the 90s that delivered on action. the story is not that surprising or that well done. They obviously didn't have the budget to do what they wanted to do, but you know what? They go for it, and sometimes they achieve it, and sometimes it just looks cheap and tacky. But most of the time, I was happy with the results. I think Billy Blanks is a great leading man. I hope Vinegar Syndrome unleash more of his movies. I had a great time with this, and to see Bolo Yeung as a good guy for a change was a little bit different, a little bit fun, a little bit interesting. This is the kind of VSA that I really appreciate. 90s action movies that are fun. What more do you want? I'd love to know your thoughts on this movie. As always, there's other content up here that you can check of mine. If you think I deserve it, hit the like button. Just takes a little second to click that. You can subscribe and share if you haven't done so. And if you want to go that extra mile, you can join the membership program or the Patreon for as little as 99p a month. You can really help this channel grow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.